The late great Fred Rogers once said, "Anyone who does anything for a child in his life is a hero to me." For many, that hero can be a child protective investigator. In 2007, a sheriff's office in the state of Florida recognized some issues with the Department of Children and Families' implementation of child protection. That sheriff asked legislation to allow him to operate child protective investigators within his own jurisdiction. A short time later, 7 separate sheriffs also did the same thing. But when you think about law enforcement training, scenario-based, ethical decision-making, documentation, appropriate response times, can those things taught in law enforcement be implemented appropriately in the training of child protective investigators? Well, that's what this research set out to do. In the 7 sheriff's office that operated a child protective investigations division, is the training aspect they offer any more beneficial than what the Department of Children and Families does as the state? I conducted 3 separate focus groups involving employees of 3 of the 7 sheriff's offices that operate a child protective investigations division. That data was collected and analyzed, and themes were developed quickly to determine whether or not the child protective investigators employed by sheriff's offices truly felt prepared for the duties that they faced. That information does separate the sheriff's office operated child protective investigations division versus that operated by the state. That information was able to be compared with the data collected by focus groups to determine that there were benefits to the training offered in the sheriff's office operated child protective investigations divisions, or in the training offered by the sheriff's offices. Oddly enough, during this research in 2023, the state of Florida unveiled a new training program for child protective investigators and took back operation of those divisions from the sheriff's office that did it before. While we would never perfect the training offered to child protective investigators, we can always strive to be as close as possible. Did the sheriff's offices have any benefit in anything that could be offered to those becoming child protective investigators? We will hope so, and we will continue to try to find that hero amongst the crowd.